All right. Grand afternoon to the family. Just want to close out these last little 15 minutes. I thought it was very interesting. Uh, I'm pretty sure some of you guys kind of saw the market today and pretty much the trajectory of how it was, trending more or less to the downside. So, again, like I said, when I have a little free time, I want to kind of come on and give a little quick little perspective or just kind of show a little bit what the market action is doing. For some of you guys, once again, are just starting to learn how to invest and trade and things like that. And, kind of want to see some real action, and progress and try to make sense of it. I'm pretty sure most of you guys got the news today. Today was a big Washington day. Uh, in retrospect to that, obviously, we kind of seen this kind of coming in a sense, with so much volatility that's been creeping into the market as it has been. And then coming in, to this pretty much last earnings season of 2017 with all this kind of, inflated growth and valuation that these companies were getting on the back that, they thought the economy really was, going to really usher in all this new emerging market growth and start building all across the country, whatever the case, even though there's small traces of it, but still, I think the economy as a whole wrote a big check that it couldn't cash. It wrote it too prematurely, I should say. And so the market has been correcting itself, a little bit by a little bit. Ugly day today once again. Dow sold off over near 400 some points, I think, at the very height of that. And now we have a little momentum going into the close where the market is trying to pull it back, trying to take back some of that loss, whatever the case. So again, just making sense of it. So, when we're talking about current events in the world of trading and investing as we do, understand that this is a major part of our technical analysis and knowing, how the market is reacting from a buyer sentiment perspective, investors and investment banks, and, the whole reality when, President Agent Orange speaks or whatever the case, and it kind of tanks the market in some cases. Obviously, when he starts speaking today, he had a special panel of steel and aluminum owners around the country, or business owners, I should say. And when he began to speak on that, obviously, the market obviously, again, start taking another dive for the worse. And this is coming off the back end or the heels off the Fed chair, the new Fed chair, Jerome Powell speaking. So that brought in even more, ambiguity. Again, as I always say to the market, there's too much. The investors just could not handle it. The market itself couldn't handle it. The market opened up, somewhat kind of frail as it was this morning. So it already had that sign of weakness, as I've been, premising these videos for the last few days, is that understanding when you see weakness in the market that you can capitalize on it if you know what you're doing properly, right? As we always say, there's money being made, money being made up and money being made down. So bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. A lot of pigs got slaughtered today, for some of those that were sitting in their accounts, for quite a while now. For whatever reason, be it their long-term investment or their short-term, whatever the case, they saw a big hit, to their accounts today in some value. So, again, that's why I say it's always good to be in control of your assets to the most degree. That way you can kind of at least have an understanding where your money's at, where it's going, and, and be in control of it by making smart decisions based upon what you want to do, more or less than waiting on a broker or someone else to kind of make that decision for you. So I just want to share that. Like I said, I'm not going to be on long here. Obviously, we got the show tonight, for the investment workshop. So I look forward to seeing you guys tonight at 8:30. We're still on for 8:30 tonight for the introduction to investment workshop. So guys, definitely, if you got your little housekeeping, a little assignments, knocked out, that's awesome. Once again, we just want to keep building on the knowledge. We're going to touch on some basic stuff that's dealing with the more the hardware, software side of the house now that we kind of been in, a good few weeks here. So we kind of start getting some of these accounts set up and, and getting you guys kind of touching this stuff in real time a little bit for some of you, very, very new traders from the gate here. But again, we just want to kind of just show a little bit what's, some action here going into the close and seeing how the market responded. And as you guys see here, the SPY, it was up, actually, when I say up or down as much as like near 5 points in terms of this level of the SPY. Which translates to about 400 to 4,500 points on the Dow as an overall value. So typically, when I look for the market, sentiment or investor sentiment, I'm always checking the Qs and I'm checking the SPYs, right? Because those are really good turnkey indicators that let you know the sentiment of the market in that moment in terms of a real time analysis, I should say. to let you know if there's investors are kind of excited about the market or they just kind of, don't want to fool with the market. So again, I didn't announce this. I just kind of put it up on a little screen, and I typically would announce it, and then I, typically go live. But I just want to kind of share this last little 15 minutes in the market. And it's kind of just weird how the market was just all over the place today. Very revealing that it was going to be a weak, a lot of weakness in it by all intents and purposes, but still, just watching it in real time, just kind of, it just really brought a lot of, a lot of perspective into seeing these things happen, so we can get a chance to really gauge it. For like say some of you guys that are just very new to this, and you're like, man, what's this? It just seems like it's just up today, down the next, and the market's all over the place pretty much. But these are the moments, like I said, you can be very, very distinctive in your trading and make really capitalize off it. We saw some big runners today, obviously on the small cap side. We saw TENX, obviously major runners for that one this morning. I was actually looking at that one at like $5 this morning, and then it ended up near 12 something on the day. Picked up near $7 something and change, 7+ actually in total profit on the day, even in the down market. So there's money always to be made. It's just about where you park your capital and what decisions you're making, and based upon your due diligence, right? So you can't never complain that there's not a chance that you can make money, even when the market is selling off. Stocks still going up. When you look at Best Buy, I took Best Buy to its earnings, right? They had earnings, our earnings play this morning. Obviously, they gave a Q4 report, and it turned out like I thought it would, that they would do good. I took that position yesterday after hours. I swung traded that. Right, I think I bought in at like 72.60, somewhere around there, some odd price, somewhere around there. And lo and behold, they beat on their earnings. Right, went up there and hit a high near 76 in terms of real, in terms of the real intraday value. So if that turned out to be a very good trade, still reaping the benefits of that. Taking a little bit off the table in that trade. Well, I haven't taken anything off that trade, table, none of yet. But I'm looking to take some off. Possibly tomorrow. I'm not going to even touch that because I think the market just going through this kind of this crazy syndrome right now. And I think, throughout the evening, depending on how the Asian market respond when they go online, I think the market may kind of bounce out for some of these stocks in the after hours, and they can push a little higher. So I'm not desperate for, to kind of do anything as, outside of that. So I'm just going to watch them trades going into the close. Same with CRM, I played that one, and also in terms of earnings, because that one there has a very bullish, strong yearly chart. If you go back and look at CRM, right, it's yearly chart. It'll make you smile like nothing, like none other. Beautiful chart, beautiful asset as a whole. So very, very, like I say, lucrative little opportunity there to kind of take advantage of. Hold on, guys. Okay, you got the phone is always going off, right? In case note to self, put the phone on vibrator or silent, right? But yeah, again, like I said, I just want to kind of show a little bit of the going into the bell action in terms of the market. As you can see, I had a couple little trades that went against me, no big deal. I think I had small share counts in them. I think, again, just looking at the value of the market that it sold off on account of the news from Trump speaking, and then the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, speaking that, some of these stocks are kind of correct. And those were a couple of those were earnings plays, and they actually beat on earnings. All the stocks that I took yesterday until the close in terms of swing trades, were stocks that actually beat on their earnings. And like two of them obviously struggling. One of them was definitely positive today, as you see the two reds I have up there, and the other one, like I say, yesterday it beat on earning, but it gets sold off a little bit, which is typical. Sometimes the guidance, their next quarterly guidance value or to the yearly guidance might not just be strong enough to kind of warrant it to get a big pop or push to the upside. So either way, I just watch it going into the close a little bit here, and then we'll kind of reassess that coming tomorrow a little bit. But overall, again, I just want to kind of share, the market value, kind of give you a little understanding of what the market looks like going into the close. For some of you guys that may have trades going right now, or may have closed out your positions, may not have. So basically, what you have the last minute or two in the market, you can have a telltale sign. So as you see, right, you got Best Buy here just starting to kind of pull back a little bit. It's not necessarily a dump. Most people are like, it's dumping. No, you got to learn how to recognize what you see when you see the market kind of react in a very, natural state. That's just people taking a little profit, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean it's just dumping, right? So understand what a dump is as opposed to just a profit taking value where the stock is kind of pulling back. Like a pullback and a dump are two different things, right? So we want to make sure we understand that, because that has a lot to do with your psychology too, and understanding, how you value or trade, and that way you don't panic, right? 'Cause a lot of us panic a lot. As soon as we see red, we get to panicking. Well, you will never make money in this market if you just panic every time you see red, right? That's just not the mentality of a trader. That's what we've been speaking about for the last, few sessions, about how to keep your mentality in check, how to make sure that you're on point, on top of your game, so that way you don't find yourself in that ambiguous situation, right? In terms of just making these kind of rash decisions based upon, not, using proper due diligence and knowledge to kind of make sure you're good to go. So again, just watching that trade there in Best Buy, what happened? It pulled back a little bit, and guess what? It ended up going higher. It pushed a little bit higher than what it even pulled back at, in a sense, so that's natural. So almost again, smart, intelligent investors, they won't panic. They'll just make it happen, right? We sit there, we've charted it up to know what's going on. So it's squeezing into the close. Same with CRM, right? My shorts, look at that. Say I just squeezed up a little higher. Look at that. That's going to the bell, right? So, end of the day here, I think the bell just hit. So right at near $7,000 in terms of the daily total trades. Obviously, I didn't cover no positions. I didn't sell anything off. I just wanted to kind of see the market in this position here to kind of make an assessment on how to kind of gauge this thing a little bit. In terms of just, because I'm still learning a lot too. You learn every day. There's no, finite value in terms of investing. For some of you guys that, understand this trade, you're constantly learning every single day. So these are good learning moments for me as well, right? Another way to kind of take some notes, gauge, the sentiment, gauge, what caused, the deciding factors to cause the market kind of do what it did, in terms of, the pullbacks, just the whole overall, value of the whole market as a whole, from the futures, down to the bond, the treasury notes. Obviously, they kind of, came alive a little bit when the new, the market as a whole started selling off, because that's when the bonds get to kicking in. But even it was under a lot of pressure today as well too. So, just once again, a good learning lesson here for all of us that are learning this craft and this trade to be, solid in what we do from day in and day out. So I just want to share that with you guys. Just kind of show a little bit of, with little action going to the close. So that's what we can kind of gauge this stuff. And when you go live, you'll start, witnessing these things, and you won't just necessarily be just panicking and going all over the place like, oh man, like the sky's falling. No, that's just what they call a pullback, or it's a correction, or it's just going to the moon. No, that means eventually it's going It's going to hit a level of resistance. It's going to pull back some. So what goes up must come down, and the same vice. If it's going down at a more heavy level, at some point it's going to balance itself out and come back up. Right. So we just need to be able to recognize that and know when a buy signal and a sell signal is very prevalent in terms of how we value a trade, right? Being able to chart a support and resistance level on a chart, and then make, smart, keen decisions based upon what we are being able to kind of, analyze, right? And not just buying it just because, or not just, whatever, what I'm saying? So that's just very important for that we realize that. And once again, we stay kind of, on point when it comes to those kind of things. So again, just want to share that with you. And this guys kind of see the market into the last little, 15, 20 minutes into the closing, sharing that moment. So hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, we got the class tonight at 8:30. Look forward to seeing you guys there. And I just hope, like I say, you guys are, got your notes together, and your mindset, fresh and vibrant and ready to rock and roll and get this thing down, right? So we can take it to the next level, guys. All right. So that way we can always stay on point and like I said, make intelligent decisions. So definitely welcome to you guys that just came in. Like I said, I'm not going to be on for like a couple more minutes here. I just want to show the last 15, 20 minutes of the market, because I'm pretty sure most of you guys kind of seen it at some point, whether you was trading or not, might have heard something about the market kind of selling off today, whatever the case. There's always, when the market is red, people are panicking, and they're running all over the place from a frantic perspective. But ultimately, again, once again, when these things are happening, we don't panic. Right. This one we get we go into our Jedi mode in a sense. We start looking for opportunity. Right. I look for opportunity when the market is doing these things. Right. This one I get very, very, keen to what I've learned thus far as an investor, as a trader, and find ways to kind of get money out this moment. Right. So if I start always in that points reversing, and it might have been doing good in the day before that, that bad news or that bad energy came into the market, eventually what's going to happen is okay, I'll look to take a short position at that moment, right? And so in that, in that essence there's money always to be made, period. No and if buts about it. So that's why we want to be diverse in knowing what, how to kind of invest in, how to trade, and why we're doing it, and all those things that we kind of go from, from one, session to the next in a sense. So, like I said, I'm just excited to be here, guys. And as always, and, share these little moments. They ain't really a whole lot, that I want to kind of, speak on now. We got the little session tonight again. So I just want to show the market, going into the close for you guys kind of see, what was happening here as you see the SPY still kind of ticking down a little bit, still in that kind of red zone where, I think it's going to bleed out for the rest of the night up until the 8 o'clock closing of the whole entire market as a whole, unless something crazy happens, something, some kind of big merger or something happens to the point where it just really boosts the market as a whole, because we know there's certain big stocks that kind of hold up the market. When we're talking about the Dow Jones Industrial Average, right? 30 of some of the biggest stocks in the, in the entire country here, actually on the whole planet, that actually props up a lot of that energy behind the market as a whole. And if any of them doing bad, like your Home Depot, your 3M, and Boeing, like that, then you can pretty much chances are the market gonna probably be in a rut for that day. It's gonna sell off some, right? So those are sometimes some good nuggets to realize that when you start looking at these different indices and so forth like that, you'll know, how to pretty much tell or gauge how the market is gonna react that day, just by looking at a few different stocks. As you hear Jim Cramer always speak about the FANG stock, Facebook, Apple, Netflix, and Google. I think that's the FANGs, whatever, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So he gauged a lot of those in a lot of ways too, to kind of give him some insight on how the market may or may not, move a little bit throughout the day in some perspective. So for us, it's the same mentality in a lot of ways, right? But you guys will once again learn this stuff as you go and you progress in this. Once again, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Don't look to kind of be the, some, I guess, aficionado with this stuff in like one night, or in a couple months or whatever. No, it's going to take some time, but once you get it, I guarantee you're going to love it, and you're going to benefit from it in more ways than you can even imagine, because now it becomes a way of life, right? Or as I say, repetition becomes repertoire. You're going to pass these skills down to your children, to your family members, your peers, and now you got a clan of people around you trading and investing in the market. All right, to the tune where people can just, really get after getting some capital for a change. If they make a smart decision, then they should have to wait on someone else to pay them or provide them opportunity, and whatever the case. Those days are over. That's the mentality I want to kind of keep reiterating on, guys. Those days are over. No more waiting on somebody else when you can do it yourself, right? No more waiting on someone else when you can do it yourself. Right. And that's the greatest opportunity and the gift that the market affords us, guys. It's just unlimited money being moved around this globe daily. $5.3 trillion a day. Let that marinate. $5.2 trillion are moved around the global financial markets in a daily value. And we're on the sidelines sitting there twiddling our thumb, worry about trivial things, caught up in too much entertainment, not necessarily, hitting on goals or even writing down some goals, or not taking our life serious enough to know that we can make a change or effective change that really benefit our lives. So again, you can watch it and you can see it and you can perceive it, then you can achieve it. It's as simple as that. And you guys are going through this course. You guys are watching these things happen. Y'all are paying attention to the market now in ways we probably never did before. In your free time, you might have CNBC or Bloomberg going in the background, just kind of hearing what's going on in the market, to kind of keep your mind permeated with some of the lingo and the jargon, and watch one company from the next, etc. So it just becomes a way of life, right? Don't mean you have to devote your entire life to it, but you'll get in the habit of saying, this is beneficial to me. It's like, when you studying for a test, right? Or you having to read over some documents, for a certain project or a certain value in your job that requires you to do that, right? So it's no different, but you're once again at the helm of your ship here. You're the captain of the ship here, and you only answer to yourself, right? And that's the greatest thing about this. You answer to yourself. Nobody, it's only you, pretty much, right? You are the Ricky Bobby of your destiny here. You want to go fast, you can go fast, right? You want to drive slow, you can go slow. Doesn't matter. Either way, you still the captain. So again, just want to share that with you guys, give you a little kick into the to the night session, just showing a little bit how the market closed out. And as you see, again, the market is still showing that that it's pretty much set in for the night, that it's going to be a red closing in the overall market going into 8 o'clock scenario. I'm pretty sure that I don't think this ain't going to turn green. And I just don't see it happening. Just too much news came out of Washington that spooked a lot of investors, whatever. So the market's gonna pretty much stay right in this little funk it's in, and that's why I made that video yesterday when I premised it showing signs of weakness in the market. Case in point, I was 100% right. We saw signs of weakness yesterday because it turned red and that ambiguity is in. As soon as the day opened up, I knew that the Fed chair was going to be speaking today again before the Capitol Hill. More uncertainty. We saw what happened the first day he spoke. A lot of uncertainty came into the market. And then I also knew that Trump was going to be speaking today, so I paid attention to my current events. So that way I went on the wrong side of the trades today, even though I got two of them up there that's kind of not doing too well. But that's because even though I picked them right in terms of them beating their earnings, which they did, the market just didn't respect their valuation at that moment to kind of grant them that kind of upside push they did. And one of them actually once again was green, and then it eventually turned red because the market turned red. So go figure. But once again, it's not like a big share count value of having those, so that's why I'm not really I wasn't overly pressed and worried about it to that level. So again, no big deal. That's just a part of the learning curve too. All right, so again, just want to share that with you guys. I'm gonna get out of here. I just want to make a quick little video here to kind of go over what we saw today. Again, we saw that Trump having this little his little soiree of so-called homies at the White House today, talking about aluminum and steel tariffs and how they finna up the ante with that now, which also kind of affects what the import value of those raw materials, especially a lot of that stuff coming from China and other places around the globe. Definitely places that it has great big mining areas that pulls a lot of steel out of the ground, or iron ore, whatever that turns into steel later, but aluminum, stuff like that. So this whole thing about it's gonna make America great again is based upon them just trying to find resources in places that necessarily it ain't really, because they've been dug up most of all the resources here in this country here. That's why a lot of stuff had to be outsourced and imported in because of the value that come on, doing that. When they came here and took over the country a lot of ways, or took over this land patch, they ate up and dug up a lot of resources. That's why ain't pretty much a lot left. So when you have a shortness of supply, then demand is up. Then you got to go looking for it somewhere else. So income, once again, all these different new steel and aluminum manufacturers coming out of China and other areas around the globe. Much needed, obviously, because the way that they're building so much stuff here in this country in terms of just, some levels of infrastructure, not something that really matter, but some levels it requires a lot of material. So again, this is just, another scenario that we're learning here as an investors, how to kind of engage the market from a business owner mentality, right? You are miniature business owners in a sense, miniature bosses, right? You miniature brokers and dealers and board of directors for the different companies that you're investing in. So you need to know exactly what's going on with them, right? In their moment of glory, or their moment of defeat, or disgust, or whatever. So we saw a lot of steel stocks jump up and run today, right? Some of you guys may be familiar with some of them. X is one of them. The ticker symbol is X, right? That's a steel company, right? AKS, that's a steel company. What's another aluminum company? CE, I think CENT. And you guys can look some of these tickers up too. That's a good little, little learning lesson. So these are like stocks like that jumped up and started running because they were speaking about what? Aluminum and steel, protecting the mainland companies that produce these little materials. So it gave their stocks an instant boost throughout the day. So that was very interesting watching that happen and watching them stocks just jump up and kind of spike up a little bit. So it was just fun watching it. So again, let me get out of here, guys. I just want to kind of show the last little bit of the market. Like I said, not necessarily hold you guys. I got some things I got to take care of before the night session anyway too, in terms of my side of the house here. Finish up some little business stuff here and get ready for tonight. So I look forward to seeing you guys this evening at 8:30. Obviously, for some of you guys that if you can't catch it, more or less, or write it, you'll have or you'll be able to be there to kind of write in the back chat, whatever. You can always come back and kind of watch the videos later at your own disposal, whatever the case. So that way you never just miss the content, and then you already know you have access to me anyway. So there's no issue with that too. So just always, don't hesitate, hit me up if you have questions. As we continue to kind of go through getting everybody goals and stuff down, as we go through this journey. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you guys, like I said, later on this evening here. Just want to close out a little bit here, showing the market here. Even though we're in the after hour session of it, There's nothing necessarily that's causing anything, in the abnormality and changes here. So wherever the momentum was going into the close, it's pretty much going to carry over. Because I don't see nothing changing the momentum of the market right now. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you guys later on this evening. Appreciate you guys stopping by and sharing this opportunity with me here in this little kind of closing of the day. All right. So talk to you guys later. Uncle Johnson, Shem Hotel, power and profit to everybody. All right.